That's it. Hello, Mrs. Vicky. How you doing?
Hi.
I'm sorry for my hair. I'm sorry for my presentation today. Oh my god, I look horrible, but you have to excuse me. It's 7 a.m. here, so
Okay. Miguel, I just want to revisit what we did last week to all our viewers and our
Mhm.
listeners and our faithful fans. And I think, if we do this long enough, people will tune in to Miguel and Vicky show.
They have to. They have to. This is a must watch. This is something that they have to
The
watch,
must
man.
watch, because we are so
Yes.
similar in energy. And okay, just to all the viewers and listeners who are tuning in, no matter where you are, either live now or anytime when this is on the infinity world of the internet, welcome to February 2021. A prologue before we start onto the show. We are bringing you the program, the show live from Singapore and from Mexico City across the planet Earth. So we are living in the twilight zone.
Imagine, no, forget about Twilight Zone. It was like for you, it's about you're about to sleep. You're about to fall asleep. I was just waking up.
Yeah, okay. So today, listeners and viewers of podcast Talk About Life, February special, the pandemic, the prolonged pandemic, we hear you. We have an international panel of hosts across the planet. We've got Miguel Flores from Mexico City every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Singapore live, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, 5 a.m. Pacific Time. Today is February 2021, and the show is a good news show. We hope to give you some hope, some glimmer of hope in the midst of very dark, very difficult times of mankind. But that's the reason why we're doing this. We go through tough times. There's going to be news that doesn't light us up. There's going to be situations that will bring us down. There are moods that will bring us down. But with the sharing, with the empathy, and with listening to someone across the planet, that hey, they are also going through the same thing. And I hope that kind of bring comfort to some strangers across the globe. And today we have the show with Miguel Flores from Mexico City, professor of English. And I just want to feedback to Miguel before we give the floor to him. Miguel, I've got so much feedback that you and I we've got such a good collaboration, and also and I think you and I we've got such good energy that I think the viewers and the listeners like it so much. And for the last week, from Tuesday to Sunday, I think we successfully rolled out across the planet with click of a button,
Imagine
successful,
that
seamless
was
collaboration.
that
So
was incredible.
Miguel, tell us everything. The floor is yours, Miguel.
First of all, thank you so much for having me again. I gotta tell you, I'm looking forward for every Tuesday of this month right now, because now it's like, okay, now we're gonna show something different to the world. I mean, right? Well, Mexico, it's moving slow according to what's happening in the pandemic situation. But rather than that, I believe that despite everything that I say, because normally there's a lot of things that I say that sometimes I regret saying, especially
No
sometimes how
regrets. It's
people
meant. It's
deals with
meant to
it.
be.
I know sometimes how people deals with the pandemic, sometimes how we just it looks like we don't care, but we do. Let me tell you something, we do. It's just that we don't know how, or we do not dimension the situation until like this situation is really getting into us,
Yep.
but not in the way that we expected.
Yep.
I was talking about it the other day, it was yesterday, I guess, with my daughter's mom. Well, imagine this little the situation for kids. They
Yep.
are they have to stay stuck in at home, right?
Oh.
And maybe okay, you're taking care of them. You're making sure that nothing happens to them because nothing is happening to them, fortunately.
Yeah.
But the problem comes about the way they were supposed to be interacting with other kids. Going to the school wasn't only for them to learn things, to be prepared for the world, blah 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 blah. Let's go for all that stuff. Yeah, but it was also because the kids were learning how to deal with society. They were learning how to manage interaction with other people, right? They were learning to be a part of a community at the end of the day. Without that part, we have seen that kids, well, let's say that there have been better times, you know.
Can I ask Miguel, how long have the schools been on shutdown in your area? Because Mexico is so
Mm,
huge. It's so huge. It is so huge. In your part of the world, how long has the students been doing home studies and online studies?
well, it really depends on the effort that the professors and the teachers make, and I believe that, well, how can I say this? I believe this is where we have to make a big shout out to a lot of teachers and professors out there,
Yeah,
not only here in Mexico,
yeah,
but also in the world,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Essential
Because
workers.
yes, it's not only for doctors and nurses that
Yeah,
are out there in the trenches fighting the good fight and
yeah.
showing us that
The grave diggers.
exactly, they
Yeah,
there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of things to work out, but they are doing their part. But the teachers, I believe, the teachers, the professors, especially on elementary school, junior high school, or secondary. I don't know according to your countries, but well,
wow.
to keep the kids' attention to a computer
Yeah.
for quite a while, we have to say, because it's not easy. I mean, I can tell you that by experience. It's not easy to have the kids' attention, and I believe that teachers, professors in
Yeah.
any level, from since kindergarten all the way to doctorates or master degrees or whatever, it's very hard to get your attention going
Yeah.
because of the circumstances. So they deserve a big shout out out there. I mean, professors and teachers, you deserve my respect. Uh, you have doing you're doing a great job. No, somebody needs to tell you, because the other day I heard, it's just that the teacher is not working. Blah, 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 blah. A lot of complaints, but senseless and pointless complaints, dude. I mean, how would you do that job in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told that person, sometimes to talk to a lot of person and it's how would you do that? Honestly, how would you do that?
Yeah.
Because it sometimes the subject or the topic is not really that important. The important thing is to keep the kid's attention.
Yes.
How do you how do you get his attention in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And that's the part that they deserve a lot of credit. They deserve big recognition because their job has been outstanding. I gotta tell you that.
Let's give them a
Outstanding.
round of applause, teachers and Professor Miguel Flores. Let's give you a round of applause.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Vicky. Hey, for all of you out there, guys, thank you so much. That,
Yeah.
that I just
Yeah.
okay. And also remember, if you see me in this show and you want a good discount on learning English, hey, I'm your man right here.
What's the name of your online school?
Plus Education Mexico.
Plus
Remember to
Education
let's
Mexico.
let's make sure you put it there on the Facebook, right? Plus Education Mexico. If you mention that you saw me with Vicky on the Talk About Life show, you're gonna get a good discount.
Wonderful. Miguel,
Sorry
I'm
for
just
the
not.
commercial. I had to do it. I
I
had to
just
take the opportunity.
No, do that, please, because we are doing this for the people, and I'm sure they want to know what you do or what I do. I want to echo what you said. When Singapore had the first lockdown in April, I think a lot of parents were really worried because it's such a new situation. You're talking about suddenly the world shuts down. unprecedented. And during that
Yeah.
time, of course, the schools were shut down. The children were being brought home and they were doing online studies. And I'm sure a lot of parents were trying to fumble, the new technology and trying to keep the students in place. I think we should get some teachers on board to see how they actually handle. But just to
Yeah.
let you know, when that pandemic lockdown was complete, 1st of June, it was complete. Students went back to school. Um, a lot of parents got really nervous and
Hmm.
really anxious. And you're right. And I had my banker, and she was saying that, I'm so worried. I have, my job is at home. I stay home for work, um, work from home. But
Yeah.
my two children, one is 6 years old, and another is 9, and I have to send them out into the open to go to school with their mask, and I can't even check if they're gonna keep their mask on. And she was telling me how nervous I am just staying at home and I'm just like, oh, it's like, okay, let me just pray for you. Let me just pray and pray. I mean, what else can we do? There
Yeah.
are parents who are really struggling in this pandemic times, not
Hmm.
just in Singapore or in Mexico, USA. I think all over the world, policymakers are struggling to think like, are we going to open? Are we not going to open? Are we going to stagger? How are we
Oh
going to
man.
deal with this? I mean, it's like, I think they do have a big headache and a big problem in the mindset, because there will be people who wants the school to open. I need my children to get out of the house. They're creating a lot of trouble and their mothers was like, don't let them go, please. I think we're in a world whereby people are, it goes on different camps.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
because it goes on different camps, I think the society starts to crack, because we don't have any clear direction. No one has gone through this before. No one has gone through this before, and I think in certain cities, as I was talking to, there was voluntary lockdown. The school are given some, the authority to do distance learning, or there are certain schools is compulsory. But whatever is it, I think, schools are also in confusion. I think the burden on
Mm.
principals, the burden on teachers is so huge, like what you rightly say. It is so huge on them. If the teachers go back to school, they're so worried. Oh no, these kids are coming.
Well,
I'm so scared.
well, imagine that. I mean, let's put it this way. And you said it yourself. You couldn't said it perfectly. We don't know what's going to happen, or we don't know what's happening. For example, right now, my daughter is going to finish elementary school. She's 12 right now. She's going to finish elementary. She's going to go into junior high school. Yeah, junior high school. And since we're still in the lockdown, the schools have been closed ever since March, April of last year. It's gonna be a year
Wow.
that kids have been on lockdown. I mean, for some of them, according to their personalities, it's been like really doesn't matter. But for other type of kids with other personalities, like for example, the kids that are a little bit more outgoing, they like to
Yes.
do physical activities, they like to be out there
Yeah.
playing and jumping, running, and whatever you want. It's harder for them because they have to adapt to a new reality, to a new
Yeah.
situation, right?
Exactly. Like what?
and
Exactly.
and you know what, since it's been almost a year,
My heart goes out to
I
them, to
can
the
say
parents. Yeah.
it's funny because I see it with kids. I believe the kids are more adapted to this situation that we are, the grown-ups. I
Mm.
believe the adults are having a harder time to adjust because some people are still adjusting, even though it's been almost a year. I mean, we have to put that in perspective. It's been almost a year. Sometimes I wonder, how is it possible that other countries are already finishing lockdowns? They don't even have vaccines, and they say, "Nah, don't worry, we got it covered. We got it under control." And I was thinking, how the hell they do that?
Singapore.
How the hell do you do that? Honestly, how do you do that? But here, because here it's Latin America, it's Central America, it's North America, Mexico. It's like in the middle of something. It's like in the I don't know. It's like the border of Central America to North America. We're that
Yeah.
because in the south part of Mexico, it looks a lot like Guatemala, like El Salvador, like Nicaragua, like Panama, like Costa Rica, Honduras. No disrespect to anybody, of course.
Yeah.
But if you get closer to the north part of Mexico, it looks a lot like, for example, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, California, Colorado, because they are very because they are
resorts.
Because they are there close to the border with the United States. And in the middle of the country, this is where I am in Mexico City, you don't know what the hell it is. It's like a different country. And sometimes the way people handles it is completely different, here, especially because this is a massive metropolitan area. Even though there's people in lockdown, sometimes you can see traffic jams. Sometimes you can get stuck in public transportation, and then you see a person that is not wearing a mask. You want to kick him out, and the rest of the wagons or the buses wants to kick the other person out, like get the hell out of here.
Like this.
Don't you see we're in a pandemic? You son of a... Sorry for the language, but
I think you're speaking for a lot of us. Miguel, do that again.
Like, what the hell is wrong with you? I have never seen it live. I have seen it, for example, on viral videos here in Mexico.
You should be doing Saturday Night Live. We should have a show dedicated to Miguel. And
I have to be I should be a comedian or something. I don't know.
You should be on the Kim Kardashian show.
Because no.
They don't have someone like you there. They're going down.
Well. Yeah, well, let's put it this way. Hey, Kim, I have self-esteem standards. I don't need to be with the Kardashians, all right? I gotta tell you that. I mean,
after February, let's do a Miguel and Vicky show. And then we'll have you on the show and tell us all your stories and enact all your stories. Miguel,
don't worry.
Yeah, you are exactly right about, we've got teachers' perspective, parents' perspective, policymakers' perspective regarding education. Children, they're so young, they can't voice out. They will just let you know that I need to get out. We haven't really heard them because, we're so bogged down in our world. We haven't given them the microphone to tell to really let them talk about it. Yeah, you're right. The children are actually on a steep learning curve.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe it has a lot of variety because I am speaking about what I think.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily represent what everybody thinks here in Mexico. Because there's a lot of people that is eager to get the hell out of their houses because they forget about work. They need to believe that life is going back to normal. Sometimes they need to believe that we're going to be okay. Right? But I don't know. It's like the routine was so important for them that's part of what we were talking about last week. They haven't realized that the situation is here. Let's face it. COVID is here to stay. We as a humanity, we need to learn how to control it. Right? That's why the vaccines are very important. The medical effort is very important because first of all, we need to establish it, to put everything on stable mode. And after that, okay, we can go on. We can say, okay, we can do this, and that. This is what was going to happen, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. The thing here is that there is people that they really need their routine back. Going to the office, waking up 1 or 2 hours before going to work because you have to get ready, you have to get
Mm.
dressed, you have to look nice. Then you go into your car or into the bus, into the subway or the train,
Yeah,
whatever. You go to the office, you do your things, and then you go back home.
yeah,
And maybe doing something, I don't know, while you're going back from work, or I don't know,
yeah,
whatever, you know,
yeah. You're
because
right. I mean,
it's part of a hard thing.
you have brought up another aspect, another category. I was just telling you, it is cracking in all fronts.
Yeah.
Like in America, I mean, or in different countries, even in Europe, even in where you are, I mean, different communities respond differently, and they are being affected by, their behavior is a manifestation of their values, the way they see the world, and whether they can adapt. I mean, you've got in America. I was talking to Ben Kitchens, our Sunday show, 2 days ago. One of our international hosts. He's just
Hmm.
across the street, and even within his neighborhood, people are still thinking this is a hoax at this date. And he was thinking, and he's so calm about it. Is like there's nothing he can do. He can't fight over it. And
Well,
there
there's very
are,
little we can
yeah,
do,
there's nothing
honestly. And we
to do.
said it. Exactly. It's true. I mean, and Ben was actually putting a great point. I mean, it's not that it's in their hands to change it up, but it's in their hands to adapt it.
Yeah,
That's what I was
yeah,
saying. We have to embrace it. We have to evolve. We have to make sure that we use the COVID situation to learn to be
yeah,
better human beings,
yeah,
or at least to understand that we have the capacity to adapt ourselves to an environment. Okay, it's not exactly the best environment we could have asked for because it's not. But let's face it, we're not dead yet. There's a lot of people that unfortunately have passed away. Yes, I am not gonna deny that because it's a cruel fact of this world right now. It is what it is. You know,
yeah.
the situation is very plain, very simple. There is a massive outbreak, and
It's going
we are
viral,
learning to
right? Just
control
like
it.
a video
Yes,
that goes viral that doesn't stop, right? A billion views. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm just gonna like go back to your first topic that you talked about, students, children, who are being affected. They are suddenly being put into a lockdown, and their world are suddenly changed. Adults, we understand, we read the news, we kind of like maneuver our way. I mean, there are different categories of kids. You've got a kid who is 12 years old going to
Mhm.
in another stage in her education. There are
Yeah.
kids who are much younger, and there are kids like what you say. They're so young, and you don't know whether, I mean, maybe like 7, 8. They're not like too young to not wear a mask, because World Health Organization says below 6, children can choose to wear a mask or not to wear a mask according to World Health Organization,
Mm,
whatever is it. But
they should
I'm
have
just
said that
saying,
here.
yeah. But I'm just saying there's the age group whereby kids are old enough to put on a mask, but the challenge is, are they able to have that mask on? That's the challenge. And I mean, like what you say, kids are kids. They need that
Exactly.
outdoor. They need the socializing. Even though if they're studious, they're not like a professor who is going to read from page 1 to page 100. They're not professor grade. They are kids. They have lots of cells that is just growing, multiplying every minute,
Yeah,
right? They are growing,
it
right?
is big.
There's lots of energy. So, I hear you. And now that we think about that, they are unrepresented in our conversation.
Yeah, it's just that sometimes we figure it out. We see it, for example, like if, from in another point of view, the grown
Yeah,
up point of view.
yeah,
Sometimes it's very difficult to listen to what's going on with our kids. Not because we don't want to listen to our kids, of course we do,
yeah.
but since we're on a different levels of maturity, reasoning, and whatever,
Mm.
sometimes, and this is the hard point. This is I gotta say this personal. This is a moment when I'm truly thankful of being the way I am. You know, because if it wasn't for that, probably my kid would have would have hated me already, like, oh my god, here comes the old man again. And I try to be supportive, but sometimes
Yeah,
I don't understand it fully because I am not a kid anymore,
yeah,
and maybe that part is the one that sounds like very hard for a lot of grown-ups to understand.
yeah.
But sometimes the kids, they don't know how to let their feelings go.
Mm.
They're a little bit more emotional right now.
Yes, the right now. They will
Yeah,
show it
right.
right now. Yeah.
Exactly, because they haven't
Maybe they will
they haven't
cry, they will
developed that
scream,
that part of their
they will
reasoning. They
struggle.
haven't
Yeah.
developed a bunch of things that can make them, part of the normal society.
Mm.
They are little kids. They deserve to play. They deserve to go out. They deserve to go to the park, get into whatever play or game you see there, get their asses kicked and get up and still running, laughing with
Yeah,
other kids,
yeah,
you know, developing like a normal human being. And imagine that. I also, of course, maybe the comparison is not going to sound good,
yeah.
but imagine that you have a little dog that needs to go out every day.
Yes, they need to go out to pee.
Simple as that. It's like a little dog.
Yeah.
The dog needs to go out, otherwise he's gonna get stressed.
Mm.
Okay, needs kids need to learn how to be a lot more resistant. Need to understand that sometimes life is hard. Yeah, they got it.
Yeah,
Honestly, they understand it.
yeah,
Kids are way more resistant than we think or we give them credit for.
yeah,
They get stressed when they become adults.
yeah, yeah,
But what happens when the situation is something that not even the grown-ups have experienced before,
yeah.
you know?
Yes.
Sometimes they look for us for advice. They look for us, to see, okay, dad, what is next? What do we do?
Yeah,
Imagine when
yeah.
mom and dad says,
I don't
I don't
know.
know. Exactly. Like, I don't know. And the kid's like, oh my God, we're totally fucked up. Honestly, I mean,
Miguel, I
once
just want
again, sorry
no
for the
about that
language.
because you're speaking for my language that I can't speak. No, I want to hear from you like a father, right? You've got a kid who's 12 years old. She's in the middle of like being mature and going to be mature, and she's in the middle of like being still young, right?
Yeah,
She's
of course.
in a very struggling stage. Now, tell us from last year March till now, like the school system is in lockdown. How is she coping as a young, very young adult, going to adulthood? How is she coping, and how do you think that she can continue on this?
I believe, sorry, I believe the hard part for for her in her particular situation
Mm,
is not only the fact that you have to go through something completely different.
mm,
It's it's not really that. I believe the fact of her experiencing
mm,
all these changes,
mm.
physical and biological changes that
Yeah,
normally women go through when they are kids.
yeah,
In this moment,
yeah. Makes
I
it
mean,
harder, right?
yeah, it makes it a little bit harder sometimes. Maybe because she's becoming well, she's evolving as a person.
Yeah,
You know, I like to use that term a lot now that I think about it. Evolution, evolution, evolution.
yeah,
She's changing. She's going through a lot of changes right now.
yeah.
She doesn't say it. She
Mm.
wants to pretend that she's strong and she's tough, but she's a human being, and I understand that sometimes she can
She
feel
can be
vulnerable. She
emotional.
can feel emotional, sad, happy. She can go from being extremely angered to completely happy in less than 10 seconds. And I am like, oh my God, we may have to go through all of that. Big shout out to you girls. Honestly, I mean, we had no idea you were being through a lot of pain. I'm sorry for being a jackass. I'm gonna treat you better. I promise you,
Yeah,
because you're like, oh my God. And probably the current situation of the pandemic is telling us, if this is how we are going through, imagine with people in this age, in this
Yeah.
certain age,
Yeah.
they are becoming adults in probably the worst scenario ever.
Wow. I think you put it right. And because she's just right with you. And I want to ask you, like, in terms of her study, and because like what she's going through at this age of 12,
Hmm.
and she doesn't have her girlfriends, her classmates, her group of support system that usually kids have, right? Is that, oh, that's my buddy, and I can. So she's away from that, right? And it's been a year, right? Am I am I
Yeah.
am I right to say that?
Well, you can say that in a month.
She's
But imagine the situation.
yeah,
We are 1 month away to say we have been in lockdown since a
one
year,
month.
for a complete
Yeah,
year. You're like,
yeah,
oh my god, this is so crazy. I mean,
yeah,
and sometimes understanding that we have to go through this, it's been hard.
yeah,
There's a lot of families, and I know this is not only for Mexico, this is worldwide. There's a
yeah.
lot of families that have been through a lot of situations they didn't want to go through
Mm,
because of the lockdown, because I don't know. There are some parts of their personality that came
mm,
out that
mm,
nobody expected.
yeah.
And
The good and the
what?
bad and the ugly.
Yeah, no, no. It could have been worse.
The
There's,
good and the
you
bad and the
know,
monsters.
yeah. I mean, or forget about the monsters. I'm talking about families in general. Uh,
Yeah,
for example, I was reading the other day
yeah,
that there has been a massive increase in domestic violence in general.
in general. Under lockdown, for a long lockdown.
Yes, because sometimes, since people are trying to understand what's going on, the pandemic has also taken out the worst of them.
Mm,
And that's one of the things sometimes we have to deal with. I am still a little bit scared about,
mm-hmm.
something going out outside, but
Yeah.
what happens when the situation is coming from home?
Mm,
And that's something that nobody has seen it. And I wish people could see it before it's too late. Okay,
and
this is something that I really want the people to listen to. Remember, this is a situation when
family
we have
dynamic.
to we have to be strong.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah,
I know it's hard.
yeah,
I know it's difficult because right now the situation is not helping us out. I was watching the other your show with Mrs. Anita Brown,
yeah.
and her words of encouragement using the Bible, and we're very positive, we're very strong, but they were also very true and unique, because she understands that we have to be in this together. It's hard. Yes, of course it is hard. Nobody's saying otherwise. It's not impossible,
Mm-hmm.
but we still have to, hang on. We have to resist. We have to hold on. We can
Yeah,
do this. We just need to be patient, and we have to
yes.
understand that
Yeah.
it affects us in a different way. What I have been doing recently, especially for the last probably 6 months,
Yeah.
is to be a lot closer to my daughter, but
Mm,
not really like putting the pressure on. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that
yeah,
way. You
yeah.
know, I can tell you that by experience. Uh, so basically, what we have been doing is, hey, what you doing? Just watching my cell phone, YouTube and stuff.
Mm.
All right. You better be watching Talk About Life, girl, because we're there. Your dad is there. Little commercial, but well. And I don't know. It's just that we found some sort of things to do together.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I
Like a
believe,
connection, like a spiritual
yeah, of
soul
course.
connection.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't need to do something really that big to show that you are connected to your kid.
Yeah.
In our particular case, what we have been doing recently is basically we have been taking some online courses to learn how to draw and
Mm.
how to paint.
Together.
And that's it.
Wow.
And let me tell you something, she's good. She is good. She's going to develop a massive talent for drawing, but I never had the chance to see it, you
Yeah.
know? So I started to have this activity with my daughter to say, okay, what you doing? Ah, I'm drawing this, and that. Ah, okay, nice, very good. And sometimes this is how, okay, she doesn't like to openly express what's going on with her, but it is also a good way to say, hey, I am going through some stuff, and this is the stuff that I'm going through. You know, the other day was drawing some tears, some eyes
Mhm.
crying.
Wow.
No reason for me, no reason at all. But
Mm.
of course, if she was drawing them,
Mm.
she doesn't like to admit it. She likes to be like a tough girl. She likes to be like this
Yeah.
hard person that doesn't show her emotions. She wants to show that she is strong.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a moment that it hits you. You know, you are vulnerable. At the end of the day, you're a human being.
Yeah.
It is so important to say, you know what? Sometimes, okay, I will not say it with words.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I will draw it out. I will sing it out. I am going to write a poem. I'm going to get into my treadmill here in my house and I'm going to run like 10 miles. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes those things help us to basically let it out.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of moments when we need to let it out,
Mm.
especially in a moment like this. We have been feeling a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. The economy is not going the same, the work is not going the same, jobs are not going the same. It doesn't matter. Please let it out. If sometimes we require a professional assistance, like from a psychologist or whatever,
Yeah.
we have to say something, and we have to be careful. We have to be aware that the
Yeah.
kids, that's the
They
part
need
that
it.
really worries me a lot.
Yeah.
The kids,
Wow.
you
And you're
know?
right. You're right. Because we forget that, like what you just said, the kids, we forget that they need to have that moment, let it out, and also really observe them, and also help them evolve in this very
Definitely.
uncertain, changing times that is so new to them. I mean, we can see that they're adapting really fast, but like subliminal, they're also trying to evolve. They're also trying to grow, and they're growing faster than anyone because
Oh
they're in a
yeah.
growing stage. Yeah.
I believe that's the part that impresses me the most. How fast they are going.
Yeah. I'm looking
And
at your
they are
girl, right?
they are easy to adapt. They are eager
Yeah.
to adapt.
Yeah.
This is not the best moment to adapt to something. We got to say it. That's a fact. That's reality.
Yeah.
Reality tells you right now it's hard,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that we have to make it harder for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the things I believe that we, the grown-ups, the adult people, the one that show the responsibility and that show what they have to do and whatever, it is also a moment to tell the kids, okay, don't worry, we got you. We
We got
understand
you.
that right now this is a difficult situation. We understand that right now we're going through a lot. Life out there is crazy,
Yeah.
but I'm with you.
Yeah. Miguel, today, you've gone into something very personal, you as a dad and your girl, that both of you are actually going through this time of relationship growth and having this soul connection. You've given us two tips. Number one is like go online to learn something. So drawing
Whatever
is
it
something.
is,
Yeah, drawing is
try it.
something.
Try things. Exactly.
Yeah,
Whatever, but try it. Give it a shot. You never
yeah.
know. You might get surprised.
Yeah, and I think you're right. If any viewers and listeners are tuning in right now, and I'm very sure a lot, because our show is pivoted for mature people, right? Mature
Yeah.
people who are tuning in. A lot of them married, children, young kids, older kids, grandchildren, whatever. I mean, this is the time for you to have this connection and also observe and help the kids who are trying to grow, trying to evolve. And like what you say, one of the tools is learning something together, just learning and expressing it and letting them know how to, let go and shout it out if they need.
Yeah.
So tell me, is there such moments with you that let it out?
I believe that's why I love my job.
Yeah, you let it out in your podcast.
First of all, on the podcast that I have, Pam El Podcast. People look for it. It's very good. We talk about comic books, anime, and everything that you like about
I love it. Yes.
all of that stuff.
Spider-Man.
It's in Spanish, so you can learn a little bit of Spanish. But well, I believe that, well, I use the podcast obviously
Oh,
to
wow. How
as a
powerful
way
it
to
is.
say,
It's a
okay, we
powerful
have to
tool.
resist. Even though I have been doing the podcast way before the
Oh,
pandemic started,
I see. Wow.
of course, if it works for for this purpose, I'll do it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
What else? Probably my job. That's why I right now I value and I worship a lot what I'm doing. My job. Simple as
Mm,
that.
mm,
Because since I am talking to other people, it doesn't matter that we're on other parts of the country or other parts
mm,
of the city, because I have to
mm.
do everything on Zoom,
Yeah.
and I'm cool with it.
Yeah. So I think you're good because you are able to kind of observe some of these kind of like personal challenges, mental
Mhm.
challenges. Like there must be times but where you have to let it out because you're suppressing it too much. The
Yeah,
economy is not the same, the job is not the same, the family life is not the same, the social life is not the same, the interaction is not the same, the shops are not the
yeah,
same, the malls are not the same, the streets are not the same. It's like
yeah.
everything is just changed. So no, the
We're
moment
here
you tell
here in
yourself that
Mexico
you need to
City.
let it out.
Here in Mexico City,
We
they're
should have a moment
trying
of
to
that. We,
reopen.
you know what? We should have a moment of that before February closes. You and I and everyone is like shout it out and let it go in the show and tell people it's okay.
Yeah, you know what? I believe that moment is when we show that, okay, right now it's very hard, but it doesn't mean that we have to stop being human beings.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's very difficult to do exactly every activity that we have exactly
Mm,
the same. It is
mm,
impossible right now, but it doesn't mean that we cannot do it in a different way. There's a lot of people that says, I need to get out of here and I need to work out. Okay, I see a lot of people running outside wearing their masks, protecting themselves, taking their distance because, okay, yes, the pandemic is hitting hard, but I need to run. I need to
mm,
get out of here and do exercise. Or, for example, I have seen some other kids that they're walking their dogs. My daughter right now is learning how to walk her dog, and it's been fun to watch. I gotta say, because
mm.
she's learning how to be patient, or at least as patient as an
As the
adult.
dog,
And
as the
believe me,
you walk the dog.
developing patience right now is hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
To keep
I
yourself
believe that
calm.
the lessons that we learn
Yeah,
in times like this are the ones that are going to stay with us forever and are the stronger ones that we're going to have.
yeah. The stronger ones. Well said.
You know?
Yeah, well said. And Miguel, you did mention about the other thing that you said about violence in the homes. I mean, you're talking about you read these statistics that about Mexico.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's not only in Mexico,
In everywhere.
because I have seen it all over the world.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
have seen it. Actually, I remember I saw a couple of videos last year of something that happened first of all in the United States. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that every person from the United States is having a situation like this. No, 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 no. I'm just saying that
What you read.
it happens everywhere, and I mean everywhere. The other
Mm,
day I saw the same, but I believe it was in Italy.
mm,
I saw the same in China.
yeah,
I don't remember what part of the United States because that is a big country,
yeah,
but I saw it. I saw a couple of those too. Of course, here in Mexico, you find out a lot of what's happening in Mexico. So there's a bunch of them in Mexico, and I guess that since it has been difficult for everybody, because
yeah,
we know that part we have said it before. It's
yeah,
not easy for anybody.
yeah.
Definitely,
Because
it's not easy for anybody, and
it's not easy.
sometimes
Yeah, it's not easy for the man. It's
No.
not easy for the woman, especially if the pandemic affects the job or the business. You know, this is
Yeah, I
really
believe.
like I
I'm
mean,
not saying it's justified. We are not
we're
justifying
not just,
violence
yeah,
in
of
any
course,
means.
of course,
All
of course.
right. We
Like
are
in
not
Singapore,
justifying, and we are against any form of violence
of course.
in families, in the communities, but
That's why
we're
people must tune into our show because you can let
exactly.
it out in the show or in the podcast.
You can learn how to paint. You can learn how to make, I don't know, origami, play the guitar,
Or just
learn
scream.
how to cook.
Just
You
scream,
know,
open the window and just let it out and scream.
yeah. I mean,
You know,
I don't know.
I totally echo you. Like, you know, for myself, there are times when I get a little bit uh, depressed. I'm not sure if the word is depressed, but you know, the mood, they kind of sinks down. Not into depression, but they kind of like a low mood. It's like, okay, this is not going anywhere. I can't plan anything for my business. I can't plan anything for my job. I can't plan anything for another future. And it seems that 2021, I can't plan anything. I mean, the things I wanted to do in 2020, I thought I could do it in 2021. It seems that I can't. And things that I wanted to do in 2019, which I thought I could do in 2020, it cannot be done in 2021. It cannot
And
be done.
here we
I mean,
go, and we
kind of
go, and we
postponing,
go, and we
right?
go, and we go. Yeah,
Yeah,
and so on. Yeah, you know what? That was exactly why I was saying what I was saying last week.
yeah,
We have to adapt to the situation.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, you have a business that requires you to be outside. Okay, there has to be another way to do it. It's not impossible, honestly. I mean, I could do it. I did it. I mean,
yeah.
yes, it's going a little slow. I'm not saying I'm gonna be millionaire or rich, of course not. But right now it's helping us to survive. We're doing it. We're, you know, even though it's hard, sometimes it feels like, oh my god, we have been like this forever because it's been a year. But it
Please,
doesn't mean you cannot learn from it, you know?
yeah, please
And
go
for
to
this
Plus Education with
Mexico.
Miguel at Mexico. But because it's online, anyone can come. It doesn't even just have to be in
Of
Mexico
course.
City, right? I mean, it's like,
Oh, I
well,
have,
even Brazil, even
let me
like
tell you something.
every
Let me
part
tell
of
you something.
South America, Central America, they can all tune in to you. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like
I
your
have
business is going international with Singapore. Your business is going international.
girl, what can I say? Let me tell you something. I mean, it actually it shocks me every time I say it and every time I
Yeah,
think about it. I
yeah.
have people from Argentina. I have people from Venezuela. Venezuela, for God's sake. If we say we're having it rough, they say, dude, you have seen nothing
Nothing.
compared to this.
I've got a guess. Yeah, she was just
Yeah, I
telling me
mean,
she's in the
and
States.
that's
She say
another
that.
thing that sometimes we don't
Yeah,
understand.
she
And I
was
say
just
this,
telling me that life is like so rough that you can't even
yeah,
imagine. And she's just
I mean,
20. Yeah,
let's put it this way. Imagine if it was already rough for some countries, especially the ones that are in a very, very bad situation.
yeah,
Like, for example, here in Central America,
yeah,
in Latin America in general,
yeah.
Central America, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Honduras, it's difficult for them. Right now, their situation is not exactly the best. That's
Mm,
why there's a lot of them trying to go through Mexico and get into the United States
yeah.
illegally. But well, imagine the situation in a lot of African countries. Imagine the
Mm,
situation in some parts of Asia.
yeah,
Imagine the situation in some parts of Europe.
yeah,
I mean, and I think about countries like, for example, Venezuela.
yeah.
Their situation is already tough. Their economy
Very
is
tough.
dead. Like
There's,
literally. The
yeah,
other day I
there's
was
no
watching a video.
economy, and people are not
The other
using
day,
money. The
the
money is
other
just
day I was
worthless.
watching a video, a
Yeah,
girl. She
yeah,
had packs of Venezuelan money
yeah.
this thick,
Just to buy
this
something
thick.
this small.
Like
Yeah,
you can put it
small.
in a suitcase, like in the movies, and you can show them and say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you this." It looked like a lot of cash, but it was bolivares,
It
the
meant
money
nothing.
in
It was just
Venezuela.
nothing.
It-
Yeah.
exactly.
The
She said,
inflation rate was just
probably
going up and up and
all of
up.
this,
Yeah.
all of this is gonna work for me only for a candy, and I'm talking about the small
An
ones.
apple. Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god. So they depend on euros or dollars.
Yeah. And there was
Imagine.
this guest of mine, she was just saying that there are children who have never seen an apple because there's nothing in the shops. Can you imagine? It was
Yeah.
so badly mismanaged. Everything, and before they were wealthy, right? But because of the government who came in, everything is just wiped out. So Miguel, back to what you were saying. These stories that keep us stronger. We look at the countries that are much worse than us. That we see the
And
countries that they're really struggling so much worse than us. Tell us about the other part of it, like you and your family, your child. How are you? How is she coping mentally? We were talking halfway that she doesn't have she doesn't have friends. So how is she gonna cope if this is
well,
like
actually, her
she's
friends
yeah
are, well, this is one of the moments that I say
yeah.
thank goodness for WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook.
Thank goodness for YouTube and WhatsApp and
Not for real, because I don't know.
she's able
If
to
it wasn't for
communicate.
that, probably she would have gone crazy, because if it wasn't for that, the only people that she has to talk with is her mom and me,
Yeah.
and sometimes her dog.
She ends
And
up
that was
talking to
that
the
was part
dog
of what I was
more.
saying. Imagine, it
Yeah.
is hard for them. It
Yeah.
is hard for them, but they are adapting way faster than we are. Yes, they
Yeah.
have less responsibilities than we
Yeah.
have. Yes, but
Yeah.
still, it's kicking their ass. I mean,
Yeah. To them, that's
they
the
have to
world.
go through exactly the same as we
To
do.
them,
It's just
that's 100% of the world. I mean, if you're
exactly. I
talking
mean,
about 100%, it means 100%.
they're like, "Oh my God, someone please keep my mom shut," or something like that. I don't know. Like,
So is she able to cope, do you think, if this continues the next 6 months for her?
mm, I am expecting a year.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be hard for her, especially if she's 12 and things are not going back to normal? She's not going out with her friends. Do you think it's going to be like psychologically she's able to take it? But and also the other side of the theory is that, do you think it's healthy for a child at 12 not to be interacting on a social level?
Definitely not. Definitely not. That's why our job
Mm,
as parents in this
mm,
particular moment is a lot more important right now.
yeah,
You know, sometimes, sometimes I'm not saying all the time,
yeah.
but sometimes the uh, the kids have their friends because sometimes they don't feel they have a real connection with their
Mm,
parents, or
mm,
maybe brothers and sisters, even though
mm,
they're family, right?
mm,
Here in Mexico, we have a very strong, and I really mean it, a very strong sense of family,
mm,
right? And it's part of our culture. It's
mm,
part of what we do. It's part of the way we are. And but sometimes in a moment like this, I mean, we see if the persons inside of your close family, the
mm,
people that you have near you,
mm,
they really feel that they have an actual connection, or
mm,
you are with them and they are with you just because you are sharing the same space.
mm,
And that's why and I'm going to emphasize, and I'm going to stress it out a lot. Do something with your kids, whatever. If you have a backyard, play football. If you have
mm.
a massive kitchen, bake a cake together. If
I
you
think
have
it's a
a
good
big living
idea.
room, and I don't know, whatever musical instrument you have, get yourself some time, learn how to play something, whatever.
Great,
Play a
great.
song together, put it online. It's actually very fun to do it.
Yeah,
Let me tell you something. Some very little, but some of the videos that I do in my YouTube channel, Pamel
yeah.
Podcast, my daughter participates there because sometimes I say, "Hey, kiddo, you want to get in? We're gonna do a video." Oh, hell yeah! Okay, here we
They are
go.
good. They are really cool, right? The millennials,
Yes,
they're really cool, right?
it is a moment we share. because sometimes she helps us a lot with the creative part. Hey, let's do this. Let's talk
Wow.
about this. Let's do this way. Because it's also
Wow.
part of it. It's not just tell them what to do. No, let them
Yeah.
really participate, right? I mean, because they have an opinion, they have a voice.
Yeah.
Hear their voices, let them talk. Their opinion is so valuable, but it's even more valuable for kids if you listen to them and you don't
Yeah.
treat them like, ah, come on, it's just a little kid. What is he gonna do? No, believe me, they are way smarter than we think. We give them very little credit, and that's one of the things that are separating families. You know?
Yeah. I want to know you now that you also have your online English school. You deal with a lot of your own students who come online. When this moments of online, when you're teaching, has there any occurred to you that some of these kids they're in the right frame of mind, or did you have any experience that these kids are like going the other ways, like they can't handle
Oh,
online
all the
online
time,
learning?
all the time.
Tell
I
us,
have
tell
to
us.
tell you, it's very difficult to get their attention because of what we said. You know,
Yeah,
uh, the kids' minds fly anywhere, and I
caught
mean it.
attention. Yeah.
It's not because of the lack of attention. It's just that it's actually I see it in a different way.
Mm.
Their mind goes so fast, extremely
Mm.
fast.
Boom, boom, boom.
Exactly, they are developing a lot of thoughts, a lot of
Yes.
ideas.
Yeah.
In 3 seconds, they can tell you something about
Like a genius.
this. They can have the potential of being genius. It's just that,
Potential genius.
and this is where the grown-ups are making a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
We believe that whatever they're saying, it's just a little kid.
Yeah.
What is he gonna know?
Yeah.
He doesn't know about life. He doesn't have a job,
Mm.
and the complaints and
Yeah.
all the pressure, and sometimes it's very hard, and it's very sad to see that sometimes parents they let it out on their kids,
Oh.
frustrations,
Yeah.
angers,
Yeah.
and they create an environment that is not going to help anybody. It's very important to separate that and to understand that the kids are a lot smarter than they look.
Yeah. I like to
They
ask,
feel it.
yeah, now that you are a professor or teacher, you've got your students, and knowing you, all these months that I know you, you won't just come online and just like teach bullet point, point one, point two, point two. I'm very sure you engage them, you talk to them, you get to know them and let them get to know you. I'm very sure the engagement quality is very much uh, in part of your interaction in your teaching, right?
I remember that I saw a movie the other day.
Yeah.
The name of the movie in English is Here Comes the Boom. It
Here
is
comes the
about
boom.
a biology professor
Yeah.
that learned how to get their attention.
Wow.
It is a comedy. It is a light
Mm.
comedy. It's a very, it's a family friendly movie
Yeah.
with mixed martial arts, which is well weird, but well, it's a great
MMA
movie.
is
But
very big in Singapore.
it
Yeah.
also even though I've taken courses and I got my degree as a professor and everything, I believe that with that particular movie. Oh, and you know what? The Society of the Dead Poets movie, very good
Yeah.
movie.
Dead Poet Society.
Those two movies
Yeah.
really set me up the tone of how to be a good teacher. You
Yeah. Robin
remember,
Williams. Yeah.
you are not only giving a class for them to absorb.
Yeah.
You have to listen to them.
And
You
inspire
have to
them.
get their attention. You have to do something different than the rest of the teachers are going to do. Because most of the teachers are going to grab a book, they're going to be in front of a blackboard and going to say, wah, 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 wah. Blah, 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 blah. Imagine you're listening to the Charlie Brown grown-ups. Blah, 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 blah,
There you
blah.
have it, ladies
And the
and
kids are like,
gentlemen, Miguel Flores, his live show.
and the kids are like,
Mm.
huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
what you say? And the kids that are paying attention, they're not paying
Yeah.
attention because they're into it. They're paying attention because, oh my God, I have to learn it because it's going to be in the exam. Oh my God, it's going to be like, oh my God, I don't remember. I don't understand it. Oh my God, professor, I don't understand it. Oh my God, no, I'm sorry. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. You know,
So
the
how
professors,
would you bring that across in a Zoom world of study? Because the whole world right now, the children are just in front of the computer, they're just trying to fidget, look around and do this, do that, and then the parents are like panicking. So what kind of tips would you give to other teachers who are also doing what you're doing, online teaching, right? To
play
keep
with them.
them to keep them there and not like just click and say goodbye. Click and buy.
Actually, I would tell the professors, it's just recommendation. I believe that there's a lot of them that they are already doing it.
Yeah,
But
tell
play
us.
with them, play games with them.
Mm,
Uh, Sometimes there's a lot of times that I heard
yeah.
the kids say, "I'm not learning shit." No, seriously, sorry for the language, but I'm not learning shit because the teacher is sitting there as if we were in the normal classroom, talking and
Yes.
talking and talking
And
and
then and
showing
just
this
point, point,
PowerPoint.
point. Yeah, and just point, point,
Exactly.
point to the
And
bullet
showing
point.
these presentations in PowerPoint,
Yeah,
and
it's
they are
so
so
tough.
boring. They are so lame
I
that
can't even
honestly,
sit through it.
we're like, for example, I saw the other day my daughter was just checking her cell phone, like, I'm gonna show this on Instagram because some teachers are not just gaining the kids' attention. Some other teachers, they're playing.
Yeah,
They are making the kids interact. Hey, tell me this. Hey, tell me that. Tell me this. Tell me that. Hey, what is that? What do you think?
interactive. Asking them questions.
It's not only about asking the question. It's also about you know um, make them part of it. Make them feel like they are doing something meaningful. For
Yeah,
example, the other day I was having a class with one of my groups. I don't know why, but I started to make some weird voices, like for example, cartoon voices,
yeah.
and they loved it.
Miguel,
They
show us
loved it because
how.
it's like, oh my
Live
god, this
show
is
with
gonna be
Miguel
really
Flores.
embarrassing, but well, doesn't matter
No,
right
no, it's
now.
okay. We'll do it next time. I told you, Miguel and Vicky show. But
I
Miguel, I
remember
think,
that I was telling them something about writing a letter or writing an
yeah,
email, and I
yeah.
told them, remember that you have to put your name right here. And after that,
Professor.
you have to play right here. And you have to make the face. And also, make sure I understand it because I'm dumb and I cannot read. So if you put it incorrectly, I will make a mistake. And the kids were laughing, they were having
Wow,
fun.
what a
And the
wonderful
and the
teacher.
worst part of it is that the exercises that I asked them to do, boom, boom, they came out immediately.
Wow.
You know, I'm
You
not saying
totally
that I have
got
the
them. Yeah, yeah,
I'm not saying that I have the magic spell. I'm not saying that I know all the answers. All that I'm saying is that this is what I do. This
yeah,
is what's working with me. But one
yeah,
of the most important things as a teacher as well is that you have to. It's like when you're a parent. You have to listen to them,
yeah.
but really listen to them. For example, there is a reason why they say it's just that I have a bunch of things at home. Holy shit! Really? What's going on? What's happening? No, it's
Yeah.
just that my dog. It's
Mm.
just that my mom. Sometimes kids need someone to listen to them, and they believe it's hard to say it at home because of they know how is how the interaction is. The relationship is a little bit different, so they need someone to really open themselves up. It's very difficult right now nowadays. Yes, I totally understand it because you don't open yourself to anybody unless you have a YouTube show.
Miguel, I think you're right. And oh, before I continue with what you just said, parents, students, you've just watched Professor Miguel Flores. I got to double him his salary and double him his student fees, and you're worth it every
I
penny. You're
I am
worth
supposed to.
every dollar. You
I am
better
supposed to
increase your
establish that. I am my own boss, so I am the one that has to give me a raise.
Yes, yes. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, please go to Plus Education. Miguel Flores is he's such a wonderful teacher there. Is keeping the kids on the screen, in that computer screen, and not fidgety, but yet engaging and doing the homework on the spot and submitting to him. I mean, it's a feat, you know. Can you think about it, like day in, day out? From 7 a.m., 8 a.m. to afternoon. The kid are just staying in front of the computer. And I can't even do that. You know,
No, it's extremely difficult.
it's tough.
I
It's
gotta say,
tough.
it's extremely difficult. Imagine for a grown-up, it's difficult
It's
to do it
tough.
because you have to work. And sometimes you feel like, oh my God, I need to stand up. I need to go for
Yeah,
a
yeah,
coffee. I need to go to the bathroom. Imagine for a kid. I mean,
yeah,
we are
yeah,
showing them how sad sometimes the grown-up life is.
yeah,
It is
yeah,
very sad.
yeah.
It is very sad, especially when you're working for a company
Yeah,
that it's just telling you, okay, you have your computer, you have to
yeah,
check your emails, you have to check your stuff. Here is
yeah.
your money. Good luck.
Yeah, you know, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Miguel Flores, professor of English. Please go to him, and he will inspire your kid, and he deserves a pay raise and increase his fee for 20% to 50% to another 100%. And there you have it there, right, Miguel
Plus
Flores.
Education Mexico, my good people. Plus Education Mexico. You mentioned that I was here with my
Plus
girl.
education
You're
in
gonna
Mexico
receive a good
City,
discount.
because plus education in Mexico City, but you know the world is borderless with the virtual world, the Zoom
I have people
educational.
from all over the continent. I have people
Wow.
from America. Of course, I would love to have people from United States, but I am an English teacher.
Yeah.
But
No, you've got enough of the population
people from
from
Europe, people
Mexico
from
all the
Asia,
way down.
exactly.
You
People
have
from
enough of the
Asia, Europe,
population.
Africa, you name it. People from Latin America. I'm your guy, Miguel Flores, Plus Education Mexico. I'm your man right there. Yeah.
Remember,
Sorry for the little commercial.
no, but it's good, you know, because I do see you need a teacher who engages the student when the classroom is not there, and engaging the student through the screen. It's a feat. Not many people have your kind of celebrity status, the celebrity draw.
I would love to be a celebrity here in my country. It would be a
Yeah,
lot
the
easier.
celebrity teacher. Let's make you the celebrity teacher.
I
You know, the
will, I will,
Tom
I guess
Cruise,
I will.
the
You know
Tom
what?
Cruise.
You have given me an idea. Probably I'm gonna make a TikTok or something just for classes or whatever. I don't know.
No, why
I
don't
don't
we do
know.
that? Yes, you know what? We should do that before February special completes. Maybe at the last of our episode, we should have you on, and then we should get your students to go on at the same time if they could, and then have like a 15-minute of you talking about your classes, like a commercial. You know, talking about what you can give, etc. I know you, because our show is going to be there forever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
definitely.
the
I
thing is
mean,
that
there's a lot of people gonna see
we
it.
are helping the parents. You are helping the parents. I'm telling you, you know, I mean, I was a student, right? I mean, I could go into a lecture room when
Yeah.
you're in a classroom, okay, and you're in a lecture room, you can be looking at a teacher, but your mind is elsewhere.
Oh yeah, of course. I
Like
was
we're
a
talking
student
about in
too,
a
but
classroom and
I
a lecture
believe,
room. Can you imagine if we're on the screen? You don't even give a damn. You
of
just kind of
course.
look back.
Let's put it this way. A lot of kids can have this option. Yes, I am putting my face on the screen like this.
Yeah,
This is a regular kid's face.
yeah, and the handphone is
And
just
some
here.
of them, they
You
have the
know?
cell phone right here. They're
Yeah,
checking
just
whatever they
below
are
the screen, and
checking.
then you're looking at the screen here, like below,
Oh, man.
right? You can't see,
Oh yeah, for real. And you know
right?
what is the worst part? That
And I,
that's when our job as professor is very, very important. Once
yeah,
again, big shout out to the teachers that are making a difference. If they have a sports class, but they are in front of a computer, I see them. They are
yeah,
dancing, they are
yeah,
jumping, they are doing a bunch of exercise that you can do in your own spot. The
Yeah.
history teachers, they are telling the story. They are interacting as if it was a play or a movie. It's very cool to see. For example, science. Okay, it's a little difficult to make an experiment, but they are doing something from home.
Yeah,
Something
or they
homemade.
can play a movie, right? They can play a movie
Yeah,
from the YouTube to extract a little video clip from the from the
from
YouTube to
whoever you
make the
want.
class interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And you know what? Just like I said, this is where all those guys deserve a
Mhm.
big shout out.
Yes.
Because okay, I am talking about my personal experience, but
Yeah.
I have other colleagues, I have other people,
Yeah.
I have some good friends that are teachers as well. They are doing a hard job. You have no idea. I'm
Shout
not
out.
saying that other jobs are easier.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that our job is the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
It is very complicated.
Yeah.
You must love it.
Yeah.
You must really love to do this
Yeah.
job.
The different challenges. Yes.
Yes, because it's different for example, an economist, an accountant, a lawyer, a police officer, an architect,
Yeah.
um, a person that has a little business of food
Yeah.
or a stationery
Yeah.
or whatever you want,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
the
And
last thing I'm gonna say today is listen to your kids. They're not stupid. Believe me, you would learn a lot from your kids.
yeah.
They are a lot more resistant than you give them credit for. We give them credit for. They are a
True.
lot smarter than we think. Listen to them.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like you're talking to a little grown up.
Yeah.
And every time I speak to my daughter, I believe I learn something new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever it is, but I learn something new every time I speak to my daughter. Yeah, definitely.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Over an hour with Miguel Flores.
There you go.
And plus education. We've got so much education from Professor Miguel. Thank you
There is
so
a
much.
name. The name is
There you
right
have it,
there. Look
ladies.
for it on Facebook.
Yeah, we see your name here.
Exactly.
Plus education. I think like what you say, and I totally agree. Not enough of salute and respect for the teachers out there trying really hard to educate the kids and keep their attention in these very difficult times. And also shout out to parents who are trying to keep their kids, making sure that the kids, like yourself, a father, I mean, making sure
Yeah.
that the kids are evolving and growing and listening to them and having making a special extra effort to engage them spiritually and mentally. So, shout out to parents, fathers, mothers, shout out to teachers, professors. And before we go, for the final 15 seconds, is there anything you want to say as a final goodbye for
A,
today's show?
a lot of love for you people from Mexico City. This is your boy Miguel Flores. Rudy, remember Pam el podcast in YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. And if you want to learn something good, if you want to learn, you want to develop English class, you want to develop your English plus education Mexico, I'm your guy. And remember, if you say I saw you with Vicky, we're gonna give you a good discount.
No, I want
And
to
also
say,
shout
if they saw me, Vicky, double the value. You give extra. You give
I need
extra love.
clients.
I'm very
I
sure that
need
you give extra love.
customers.
Yeah, they will come on to you. Okay, I get extra love from Miguel. All right. To everyone who's listening in, we have Miguel Flores from Mexico City. And to wrap up today's show, another wonderful show with Miguel. Today we focused on children in the family, students in lockdown, and he gave us tips. Thank you so much, Miguel. Definitely, some of these things are so useful to teachers, to parents, trying to listen to the child. And not only that, we're going to come on again next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Singapore time, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, 5 a.m. Pacific Time, and wherever you are, tune in, because this is going to be for you, the viewers, mothers, fathers, teachers, principals, professors out there, students, come on, tune
Everybody,
in. Tune in, everybody. Refer, share, follow, subscribe, and just forward the video, the links, tinytunes.com, tinyurl.com/talk about life. February special, the prolonged pandemic. We hear you, and we are here for you. Not only we are here, we hear you. We are here for you. Write to us. Tell us you want to be on our show. And I want to let Miguel know that there are listeners of my podcast who actually wrote to me via the email to be on the show. And therefore, I had a data scientist from Australia. He was with me for about 5 shows because he wrote to me about he wanting to be on the show. And then I had another American celebrity consultant, Lisa Grow. She actually wrote to me, and she was the consultant, the nutritional consultant for the top celebrities in Hollywood. So I've got a divergent group of people who actually write to me. So
we need a couple of tips. We need a couple of those tips, like right now. I'm getting fat here. Come on, dude. Please give me a hint.
Yeah, so I want to again shout out to all the listeners, all the viewers, and people from Mexico City, left, right, up, down, the whole of Central America, and all the students of yours who have tuned in. Refer, and share the video link. All right. And also, anybody who listens into the show, just mention the show to Miguel. You either get a discount or you get extra attention from a good teacher. Date Poet Society, inspiration.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Miguel. Come on again, everyone, and come on again, Miguel. So we are at the 50 mark of our show. So we got 2 shows left with Miguel. So please don't miss next week. All right, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Singapore time. Miguel and Vicky show. Thank you so much, Miguel. All the best to you. And should we give you a round of applause?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
I really deserve it. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
Pat on the backs. Pat on your back.
A lot of love for you. A lot of love for you, my good people.
A lot of love
all the way
from Singapore, the tropical
from Mexico City all the way to Singapore.
All the love. Okay, right. Bye.
Bye-bye.